Ever wonder why some species thrive while others don't? What drives this survival of the fittest? Welcome to the fascinating world of biology, where we explore the intricacies of life itself. One of the most intriguing aspects of life on Earth is its sheer diversity. From the towering giraffe to the tiny ant, from the vibrant peacock to the small-sized butterflies, the variety of life forms is truly astounding. But have you ever paused to ponder how this diversity came to be? How did we end up with over 8 million species, each uniquely adapted to its environment? The theory of evolution, put forth by Charles Darwin, offers some answers. It proposes that life on Earth has evolved over billions of years, with the fittest surviving and passing on their traits. But what determines this fitness? What decides which species thrive and which fade away? The answer to these intriguing questions lies in the concept of natural selection. Natural selection, a term coined by Charles Darwin, governs the survival and reproduction of organisms. To delve into the understanding of this concept, let's imagine a group of rabbits living in a snowy environment. Within this group, variations occur naturally. Some rabbits, due to genetic differences, might have white fur while others have brown. These differences or variations are the result of random genetic mutations and recombination during reproduction. Now, let's bring in the role of environmental pressures. In our snowy landscape, the white rabbits are less visible to predators than their brown counterparts. This makes them less likely to get eaten. This is an environmental pressure, a challenge that affects an organism's survival. In this case, it's the color of the snow. Survival, however, is only half the story. The white rabbits not only need to survive, they also need to reproduce. This is where the concept of survival of the fittest comes into play. Fittest doesn't necessarily mean the strongest or the fastest, but rather the best suited to the environment. In our snowy scene, the fittest are the white rabbits. They survive and reproduce more successfully than the brown rabbits, passing on their beneficial traits to their offspring. Over time, if this environmental pressure remains consistent, more and more of the population will inherit the beneficial trait. In our case, white fur. This is because the trait provides an advantage for survival and reproduction. The brown rabbits may eventually disappear altogether, leaving only the white rabbits. This is natural selection in action. The environment selects for certain traits, and over time these traits become more common in the population. The species has adapted to its environment. Thus, over time, species evolve, adapting to their environments and becoming better at surviving and reproducing. This process is evolution driven by natural selection. Now that we have a grasp of natural selection, how does it result in evolution? Let's dive into this fascinating process. Imagine a series of minute changes, like tiny brushstrokes on a vast canvas, each one insignificant on its own. But over generations, these small changes accumulate, shaping something entirely new. This is how evolution works, driven by the ever-present force of natural selection. Consider the phenomenon of antibiotic resistance in bacteria. When antibiotics are used, they kill most of the bacteria. However, a few bacteria that have a natural resistance survive and reproduce. Over time, the resistant bacteria become the dominant strain, illustrating evolution in action. Similarly, the evolution of the peppered moth in the 19th century is a classic example. The moths evolved from being predominantly light-colored to dark-colored, a change driven by industrial pollution that favored darker moths. These examples illustrate how species evolve over time due to natural selection. So, we've seen how natural selection drives evolution. But what does this mean for us and the world around us? It means that life is a constantly shifting tapestry, where each species adapts and evolves to survive in the ever-changing environment. The process of natural selection, as we've discussed, is the invisible hand guiding these changes, favoring traits that enhance survival and reproduction. Implications? They are vast. Every organism from the tiniest bacterium to the largest whale is a part of this ongoing evolutionary journey, including us, humans. Our actions, through climate change and habitat destruction, can and do impact this process, often in ways we can't predict. But there's also a silver lining. By understanding how natural selection drives evolution, we can better manage and protect Earth's biodiversity. In understanding natural selection, we gain insight into the past, the present, and potentially, the future of life on Earth. Remember, we too are a part of this grand process of evolution. Let's conclude by understanding the principles of Darwinism that govern natural selection and evolution. First, we have overproduction. Living beings have the ability to reproduce more individuals than the environment can support. This increases their reproductive potential but also leads to intense competition among organisms for limited resources, which is our second principle, the struggle for existence. Thirdly, we have variations. Variations are a characteristic feature of all plants and animals. These are differences that occur naturally among individuals and are often passed down from parents to offspring. Small variations can be important for evolution. Favorable variations are useful to the organism, enhancing their chance of survival and reproduction, while unfavorable variations can be harmful or useless. Finally, we have the survival of the fittest or natural selection. During the struggle for existence, organisms with favorable variations that can better adapt to their environment are more likely to survive and reproduce. This is the process of natural selection, favoring traits that enhance survival and reproduction. Organisms unable to face the challenges of their environment are unfit to survive and disappear. These principles of Darwinism form the basis of our understanding of natural selection and evolution. They remind us that we are all part of this grand, ongoing process of evolution shaped by the invisible hand of natural selection. So let's remember, as we move forward, to respect and understand this process, for it has profound implications for our world and our future. Having understood the principles of Darwinism, let's delve into how these principles have been integrated into modern biology. Today, these principles guide our understanding of everything from disease resistance to animal behavior, and even the development of new species. Firstly, the principle of overproduction is evident in the rapid multiplication of bacteria and viruses. This overproduction allows for a fast and intense competition, which leads to the survival of the fittest strains. Similarly, in agriculture, overproduction and the resulting competition among crops has led to the development of more robust and high-yielding varieties. Secondly, the struggle for existence is a principle seen in every aspect of life. It can be seen in the predator-prey relationships in the wild, competition among species for resources, and even the human struggle for resources and survival in our modern world. Thirdly, variations play a crucial role in modern genetics. These variations, now understood to be caused by mutations in DNA, are the driving force behind evolution and the development of new species. They are also the reason behind the vast biodiversity we see on our planet. Finally, the principle of survival of the fittest or natural selection is a fundamental concept in modern biology. It explains why certain traits become more common in a population over time. It's the principle behind the concept of fitness, which in biological terms refers to an organism's ability to survive and reproduce. In conclusion, Darwin's principles form the backbone of modern biology. They have guided and continue to guide our understanding of life on Earth, and have paved the way for advancements in fields as diverse as agriculture, medicine, and conservation biology. Remember, as we journey through the world of biology, that we are all part of this grand tapestry of life, woven together by the threads of evolution and natural selection.